tell you what, I'll just get back to you.
Yeah, you let me know. You let me know.
Yeah, we'll do something. It's
okay.
great.
You let me
all you Apple fanboys.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I've gone through so many times over the years with those kind of updates. It's like, oh, forget it. So yes, camper with the Mac when it comes to stuff like that. All right, let's see. We are recording. It looks like everything's hunky dory, and I think we are about there. So I'm going to turn on the overlay, and we will go from there. All right, folks, sit back, relax, get your favorite libation, your favorite snack. The Geocaching Podcast is coming at you right about now.
You want to know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. But come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome to the Geocaching Podcast, episode 520, recorded live on December 20th, 2017. I'm your host, Headhardhat with
Scott Burks,
Taz 427, and
Info Ferret.
You can join our chat room and watch our live video stream, plus participate with us as we record this episode. All this and more can be found at www.geocachingpodcast.com/live. Be sure to contact us via our voicemail line at 630-31-VOICE, and also find us on Twitter at geocachingpodcast.com/Twitter and Facebook at geocachingpodcast.com/Facebook. This episode is sponsored by our good patrons of the Geocaching Podcast. To become a contributing patron, simply click on the Patreon or PayPal logos on our website to help keep our podcast going. From all of us at the Geocaching Podcast, we thank you. All right, good stuff. We are here, and hey, it's the holidays. It's 5 more days till Xmas. And
5 more days? Is that, yeah, you're right. Yeah, how about that?
Well, for Sarah, who's in a time loop, she's she already opened her presents and put them back, and I don't understand.
That means Daryl's coming this weekend.
Yeah,
artists. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah. So Daryl's taking the train to come see you, Scott?
No, he's driving.
Is he?
Yeah, it's geocaching day. Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's coming Sunday. I think I have to check with him. I haven't talked to him.
Good stuff.
I think that's the plan.
Yep. So the weather is terrible here. I bet you it even rivals New Zealand a little bit. It's been in the low 70s.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Here
it's
in
about that. It's sunny and very windy here.
Is it?
So it's cool t-shirt rather than sweltering.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough.
I can live with that.
The hoodies had to get put on a hook and all right, let's see, Scott. 29. There you go.
29.
Yeah. Well, you guys have already had.
Oh, that's an old money, not new money.
We've what? What did we do?
You just had so many cold fronts and snowstorms blow through already. It's like,
yeah, we've already had snow once already. It's mostly gone, but
what's that?
It's just white stuff.
That's stuff that happens about 20 miles away from me. I mean, it doesn't happen where I live.
Oh, poor baby.
It's pretty icky.
Yeah.
You got to go further up in the hills.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good stuff. Gotta get to the peaks to do that. And out west, they've got quite a bit up in the western part of the state. I heard. I don't know if it's still there, but I think they had quite a bit going on last week from what I understand. But yeah, no, I'm still, it's a lot of time just trying to find time to go out and do geocaching. We did have on the Christmas tree, though. There are quite a few different geocaching ornaments that I enjoy putting. The one that I like the best is if you ever go to Frankenmuth, Michigan, there is a place there that you can go that is like the largest Christmas shop in the world. And there you can get bulbs made that have geocaching on them and have different stuff.
Like the logo?
Yeah,
Well, can I show you this one?
What's that?
I don't know if you can pick it up here, but an event I went to a couple of weeks ago.
Lift it up just. There we go.
If you look inside, it's got something dangling, and on one side it says Rattles Christmas Barbecue 2017. On the other side, it has your caching name on.
Oh, that's cute.
And inside it, apart from the stuff that looks like snow, there's a rolled up little mini log, a painted rock, which is Rattle's trademark, a signal the frog, a geocaching logo, and a little GPS.
Oh, that's cute.
Made up, printed on paper. So I don't know how long it took him or Mrs. Rattle to make those for the 20 or so people that were there. But that's freaking awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. How come that's not on your tree?
Because I wanted to show you guys it, and I wasn't going to bring the tree in on the bus this morning.
Well, not with that attitude.
No, not really.
What attitude? This is my cooperative attitude. I could have worse. Well.
Yeah, but we got an assortment of bison tubes and pill bottles and stuff, the pill containers and different geocaching. I mean, you can't not put something up on a tree.
No, totally. I have I've got like a ornament travel bug, not travel bug. I got like a coin that I've got on there, and tomorrow is the 21st. The equinox, and tomorrow is the 5-year anniversary of Jesse and I's first date.
Oh wow!
And, yeah, how crazy is that? Congrats. And the funny part is that 5 years ago tomorrow, I picked her up at her house, and she went upstairs because she was finishing getting ready. And what I did is I snuck a bison in, and I attached a bison to her, unknowing to her. I think she found it I think her son found it a week later. I'm like, why is there a cache in our tree?
Well, I have this evil idea. You know those sort of Eclipse mint tins? Or smint. Is finding a small pine tree somewhere and hanging about 50 of those off it, and only one of which has the log in it.
Oh yeah.
But I've got to find the right pine tree somewhere that kids aren't going to just stumble across it, and people will actually look for it.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's more of Scott's
if I ever get organized.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, we got one out here like that that I did at the Yellow County Rally a couple of years ago, and there was we went through about 50, I think, red herrings before we found it behind a sign, a nano behind a sign that was next to the tree. Like, son of a.
Yeah, I love it.
The way you do it.
I love it.
Well, or hang those 50 or so Eclipse tins off the tree and then have a bison hidden somewhere else.
Yep.
Right.
That would be mean.
Good
I
way.
might have to do it.
Yeah, good stuff. Scott, how about you besides being 29 degrees out there?
What's what? How am I doing?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Things going?
Oh, things are going okay. Getting finishing up. We did some caching in the snow during the week. I got a couple the other day. It's been okay. Gearing up for geocaching day and getting the PQs and everything together. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good day. So did some winter caching, which I haven't done in a year. So it was nice to do some winter caching again last week. So
you guys don't have enough snow yet where the things just get buried, right?
No, not yet. No. It was a dusting, if you will. A dusting of snow. Yeah, it's all gone now. So no worries.
Excellent. Taz, how about yourself? How's things going out?
The only geolocating that I've done is Christmas supplies, but I hear my cohorts down in Houston got actually an accumulation of snow. So congratulations, guys! That's a once a decade situation there.
Wow,
definitely.
In the 20 years I lived there, it happened twice.
Holy cow!
So yeah, that's a very rare occurrence. But hopefully I'll get out and get some caches because I'm now officially on vacation.
Hey, congrats!
Nice.
I don't know what that is either.
Yeah, a couple more days. Friday, my last day.
Oh.
But I got what I think is the best gift at our works Christmas party on the White Elephant Gift Exchange, and we and we do 3 lockout or 3 stills before it gets locked out. And so had fun today.
Good. Excellent. Hey, is any of the fire stuff over by you, or is that stuff? I know they got a couple under control.
Yeah, the it's in Santa Barbara, which is north of LA. So, but the smoke is making it all the way up here. And it's, the other night we were driving. My wife and I were and my son were going out to eat, and she's like, "What's all the smoke from?" It's like, it's the freaking fires down in Santa Barbara. It's like, it's coming all the way up here.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, we had it one time a couple of years ago. They had a fire out east, and it was 300 miles away, something like that, and the smoke was making it here to Raleigh.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is something.
But yeah, that's supposed to be the third largest forest fire that California has experienced. So that's not a small one.
I feel for the people there. That's if you sit there and you build a house in a burn area is one thing. When you get something this massive, where they were talking something like when the Santa winds were going that something like a football field a second was going up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine what that's like.
And we've had a relatively dry wet season so far. So today was the first time that it's rained in December here. Wow. So
yeah, feel for the people out there.
We've had it really dry this year. We're having the summer that we seem to be having last year's summer that never really arrived, tacked onto the front of this year's summer. So it's been really hot. Had a little bit of rain earlier this week, but not enough to do anything. So they're starting to talk about water restrictions, and I have a nasty sneaking suspicion there's going to be a couple of big fires somewhere. I just don't know where.
Yeah.
In sort of January, February way.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
It's just amazing how that works, because I know when Corey was on in Montana, there's parts where they can't even get to where the forest fire is. It's like, yeah, it'll burn itself out eventually.
It'll get there. No worries.
Yeah. Like, holy smokes. Yeah. So sad stuff for that, but we have prayers up for the people out there in California. That,
it's
done.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Sarah, how about yourself? How's things out in New Zealand?
Well, we're all sort of winding down for Christmas mode, like you guys, but we're getting sort of Christmas, New Year fortnight is when most New Zealanders go on holiday. The kids' Alan's school finished up yesterday, so I packed him off on the train up to Granny and Granddad's for a couple of days, so he isn't home alone. But so he's going to be having a good time. Haven't heard from him, which is always quite encouraging. But the rest of the family are up at an orienteering training camp in North Taranaki, so running around forests around there. They get back at the weekend. And then we go off to the South Island for a week and a half just to go play. But I'll be with relatives, so I can't do as much box hunting as I would really, really like to, but never mind. But I did get I know we didn't have a show last week, but that weekend I went up to Wanganui with a friend, and we to go to that barbecue where I got the awesome bauble, and how different cities or towns or sets of hiders have a different sort of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Wanganui is a little bit off the main tourist routes, but I actually quite like the place. But a lot of the caches there, they do puzzle caches and they do fiendish ones. And I sort of thought, I've really got to up my hiding game. Just sort of sticking a mint tin on a bus stop isn't really going to cut it compared to that lot.
Yeah, when you get the really creative ones in here, I think of people like West Virginia Tim and the guys for the Cache Bash and such. Yeah. They put a lot of effort into to geocaching stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just sort of think, how long did it take to think of, let alone build? Two examples, I'm not going to give too much away as spoilers, was one where you got to a place and it was a big box, and the listing said, take the coordinates and add this and subtract this, and that gave you the combination to actually open the box. when you opened the box, there was a cube about 8 inches across with a maze on it, and you had to get a ball round all 6 sides of this maze to flip a switch, which actually opened the container so you could actually get at the logbook.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, how long that must have taken to.
Right now, working on that one.
Yeah,
that
was awesome.
I found one of those 2 years ago, and it was about 28 degrees outside, and I walked the 1,000 feet back to my truck to do it in the warmth.
But the prize one, I think, again, I'm trying to give you as much information as I can without it being a spoiler, was you had to solve a code to find what the coordinates actually were. Then you got to it. And you know those sort of wooden puzzles that you take apart and can never get back together again?
Oh, yeah.
But you know how normally they're sort of 3-4 inches across?
Mm-hmm.
This was there was only 6 pieces, but they were about 2 foot across.
Awesome.
So as well as the usual solving stuff, the damn thing was heavy.
Yeah.
I'm just really glad it was a stinking hot afternoon when we picked it up. It was only about 30 meters back to the car, so that wasn't too bad. So we were sitting in the car with the doors open to keep some sort of a breeze flowing through, whilst I tried to take this apart, find the logbook, sign the logbook, put it back, and then reassemble it without the pieces going everywhere. So I was really glad it was a hot day for that, but I hated to do it with sort of howling gale and rain. But that was fun.
Yeah, excellent. Good stuff. All right, let's move on to the podcast roundup, letting our viewers know what's going on in the geocaching podcasting community. And what's coming up this week on Geo Gearheads is episode 312, Foolish Cachers 2, where, quote unquote, we're looking for stories of some of those silly mistakes you've made at geocaching or with geocachers and the lessons you have learned. I'm sure people have more than one story out of that one. So be sure to check out Geo Gearheads tomorrow for that one. And then on GeoSnippets Reboot Podcast, we are going to be doing one of Headhardhat's geocaching quizzes. And we'll hope everybody comes along with that one. That should be a lot of fun as well. Also, please consider becoming a patron. I want to say thank you to all the recent people that plugged in and contributed to the Geocaching Podcast. We really do appreciate it. Simply go to our geocachingpodcast.com website and click on either our PayPal or our Patreon logos. And if you can afford a couple of bucks a month, we would greatly appreciate it. It helps keep the lights on and go from there. And thank you again for the folks that just recently contributed and the ones that continue to contribute to us each and every week. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on to the mailbag. Scott, you all set?
Yes.
All right, let's do this.
I got mail. Yay! I got mail. Yay!
This comes from GeoMonster84. It says, "Hi, I've been watching for a while now, and I've taken some good info from your series. I see you sometimes take show suggestions, so I wanted to drop mine in here. I'm working on putting together my first power trail, and I'd love to get your insight on these, both from the hiding and hunting point of view. I know they can be a bit controversial. Some people like them and some don't. I personally find them boring, but I've only tried 2. I'm sure there are good ones out there, and I want to make sure mine is one of them. I'm calling it the ABCs of geocaching. Number 1 is A for blank, the 2 is B for blank, C is 3 for, and so on. Whether you like power trails or not, they are a big part of caching, and I'm sure lots of people would be interested in what you have to say on the subject. Thanks for your consideration, GeoMonster."
We could do a whole show just on that. I'll let you guys give a quick quote on what's your feeling about power trails in general.
I love them and I hate them.
There are ones like that.
You can make a very enjoyable power trail that is taking you somewhere very interesting, and they could be very, very difficult or very easy to do. So, it's really how you put it together. I've seen some power trails really close to busy roads Those I hate. Try to do it someplace that is not so busy where you feel if it's alongside a road, you feel comfortable pulling your car off the road and getting out without taking your life into your own hands.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think they've got their place in this game that we play. I do them. I don't do them I know people that's all they do. Yeah. People with 100,000 finds, that's all they do is power trails. But I don't really do them all that often. But they like I say, they're like a lamb skirt. They've got their place in this game. So I like them, but I don't go after. I'd rather walk the woods than go every 528 feet to find a cache.
I like doing them with a group of people and kind of rotating who's jumping out of the car and going and grabbing it. So and then when you get stuck, it's like everyone piles out.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like it was right there. What's wrong with you?
Sure.
If the driver has to get out of the car to find it, you've got a problem.
I hate when I drive and I have to get out of the car. I hate it.
I agree with the comment that if you're placing them, please make sure there's somewhere sensible to park. Mm-hmm. That's really crucial. But the one thing I'd add with it is think. I like GeoArt. If I can solve the problems, they're sort of related. And once you've solved them, you've almost got a power trail. But think about how you're going to maintain it, because there's nothing worse than, hey, I've put out 800 caches in this power trail. Yeah, but only 40 of them are still there in a year and a half's time. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying please do it, but just think about how much of a pain in the butt it's going to be to get to them all in a year's time.
Yeah,
otherwise you'll end up with hordes of people saying, couldn't find it, so I threw down a replacement. Hope that's okay.
Yeah, it opens a whole can.
And then having about 2 years down the track, having 5 throwdown containers at the location, and which one is which.
Right. Well, yeah, that also has to do with the whole, I appreciate the ones that actually take the initiative and have a big container at the beginning and the end, where you can just grab a container and you can just swapping them out, So if it's a driving one, I should preface that with saying if it's a driving one, that you could just swap them out, and then at the end you just dump the one, it has beginning and an end one. Those are always nice. That makes it a lot easier. I always grab a couple just in case there's a DNF, and then just replace it if I don't.
Yeah, I love the power trails that they change up a bit. It's not, I'll take the example of the one that's in Nevada. It's the same thing for whatever miles that you go on this thing. If you can change it up and make it interesting to people, people will enjoy it a whole lot better. And I don't know if they have rails to trails in different parts of the country. I know in North Carolina they do, where they took out the old railroad tracks and put full trails for people to walk on. There are tons of them out there that are out in the middle of not necessarily nowhere, but out of the way enough that you could do a power trail with bikes or walking and go that way. So
that's one of my colleagues just thinking today.
Yeah, we have plenty of those.
Yeah, car one's fun, but for me, it's much more enjoyable to take that nice little bike ride through the woods or wherever it takes you on something like that, and finding geocaches as well.
But if I'm in a car, I don't want different hides. I want the same exact hide.
So you're literally
where to go and exactly what to grab.
Yeah.
It's all if I'm in a car, let's be realistic. If I'm in a car on a power trail, you're all about the numbers. It's about speed. How fast you can get through that. So the quicker that I can get through it, the better the happier I'm going to be.
It's all what people want to get out of it. It really is. For me, it's the walk. It's the experience of going through and going for it. For other people, it's the numbers.
If you rate the DT right, then they know.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yes.
I'm just thinking of a couple of I only really know the power trails in the lower North Island. I'm just mentally going through the ones I've done. The only one I've done around Auckland is a Dalmatian set, which was 101 Dalmatians. You started, and the containers varied a bit, but the hides were pretty lame. It was sort of we've placed it, we expect you guys to maintain it, which
fire and forget.
Yeah. And you got, at some of them you found the information to get the coordinates to calculate the final. I mean, that was a case of I did over 2 days, because it was all on gravel roads. I did something like 75 out of the 100, and then just lost the will to live. But I've done other ones that have been really good ones I've done. There's a huge one on it called the Alps to Ocean down in South Canterbury, which I've touched on bits of. You really need to get a bike and ideally get somebody to drive you up to the Alps side of it and then just head downhill to the ocean. Oh, that's good. That lot looked really good. The ones I did on that were good, but it was just sort of spot checking rather than a really good one is it's called Thompson's Track, which is there's about something like about 75, 76 on that set, which again you sort of head out from the middle of nowhere and work your way back down towards Christchurch. Actually, it doesn't get as far as Christchurch, but that's a nice set. We took us about 5 hours to get that 75 or so. Wow. I can't remember quite how many are in the series. And there's the KAS Power Trail that's about an hour and a half north of me that 4 of us jumped in a van and did it in a day with 1 of us driving and 3 of us finding.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're doing a power trail, it's make sure those were good. All the hides are relatively easy, but the little sort of slight tweaks and bits of variety in the. So it's not a pill container every time. Sometimes it would be a pill container with a bug stuck on it, or just something different, just to keep the interest levels up.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. Good thing. And I want to thank GeoMonster84 for bringing that up. Like I said, we can do a whole show on that when it comes to stuff. So I think we need to move on. Chaz, you ready?
Were we going to do this as news, or were we going to do it as the show?
First 3 bullet points we'll do as news.
Okay.
So we'll go with that. Because other than that, we'll just leave and you can just finish the rest of the show. It'll be good. All right, let's do this.
News. You can now view another player's profile with the latest geocaching app update. Learn more in the forums. You can now customize your profile on dashboard with your own cover image. We could do that before. Anyways, visit your profile page settings. Pardon me? To update your image. Couldn't do that before?
No.
What did it use?
No, because I saw the background. I saw the background. And I was like, well, that's strange. Why can't I change the background? Why can't I make it what I want? So I know for a fact that you can do that.
Okay, so they're talking about the background.
Yeah, the background. If you go to mine, you'll see I added one to mine. So it's like, that.
See, obviously I haven't played around with this yet. December 16th, 2017 was the last day to submit your events for the last/first on December 31st, 2017, January 1st, 2018, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day events. So if you don't have one around you, you're SOL.
Yep.
There's a couple in Wellington, but unfortunately I'm not going to be in Wellington over New Year. And one of the guys I said, can a video conference in? And he said, no.
I hate when that happens.
Well, another local cacher. So last year I stole someone else's locations from the previous year and hosted. This year someone else stole my locations and is hosting. So I'm happy with it.
There you go. It's all good. It's all good. All right, let's move on to the episode 520 tonight, Cache Your Coffee. And basically, Cache Your Coffee is pretty much what we've been doing all day today. It's just talking about different subjects that come up in the geocaching universe. And one of the things that caught my eye, and it's you get a taste, as it were, of this really, I know Chad's going to just like melt when he sees this thing. It's a Geocache Locator. That they quote is a gift that keeps on giving, and it deals with some 3D printing and some pretty interesting lighting effects. Now, they just put this thing out about 5 days ago. So part 2, which actually shows how to use it is still in flux, and we haven't seen it. But I thought you guys would be kind of interested. If you watch and go see the video of tonight's episode, you'll be able to get to check this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up, and then I'm going to share the screen. And this is kind of cool. So let me bring this out here, and that goes there. And let me bring this up. So this guy made, and his name is Sean Hodgins, Hodgins, and I believe he's down Sarah's way, if I'm not mistaken. Has come up with this geolocator. And what I'm going to do, you guys can't hear it, but you'll get a little, I'll have the link to all this in the show notes. But he basically just has some pieces of stuff that he had floating around. Like he has a little GPS, I don't know if they call that an activator. Chad knows this stuff a whole lot better than I do. But it's a little chip for GPS functionality, some lights functionality, and a whole bunch of other things in this. And it's made to find geocaches. It's a fancy dancy geocache finder.
It's actually made to find geocaches. So you put in the coordinates and it kind of navigates.
Find it. Let me show you the actual thing. There's some parts to it's an actual YouTube thing. So I'm going to kind of run it. You're not going to be able to hear anything, but check this out. So it's got some really cool lighting effects to it.
Looks like a mad roulette wheel.
And this is the guy that actually starts it off. So let me move over to where he actually gets into making some of this. So I'm just going to move up a little bit. He programs the stuff that works in it. So he does his 3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically just a bunch of wires. Let me go to the next part in here. So this is all the parts that are inside. And Chad probably knows this stuff by heart.
What is it supposed to do?
It's to find geocaches. It's a fancy gift.
Yeah, that's called the GPS. Well, I'm so confused.
It's called a smartphone.
Well, GPS, but
it's reinventing the wheel somehow. What's going on here? Dude, are you like fooling me? What's going on?
No, it's not reinventing the wheel. It's just a cool toy, and this is him putting some of the stuff together for it.
I don't have to build it. I can go get one from Garmin. Why am I?
There's guys out there that want to do stuff like this. It's like they want to get in and make things, and this is how he does it. And he shows you different parts of it.
It looks very steampunkish. It needs a few cogs stuck on the side.
Now, I'm actually planning on building something similar, except for it will be in a container, and you use the my geolocator to actually go find the final location of the cache, and it's really just going to give you distance and direction to it, and you get so many tries before it turns off. So that's my idea, but
to me, it's
I haven't implemented it yet.
Yeah, it's
but yeah, you just need an Arduino unit, a GPS module in there. It sounds like he probably has a magnetic compass component in there as well. But that sounds pretty interesting.
He had one of the things that he had was that I thought was interesting, and people in electronics, it's like, but he's got a way of converting the battery so that the battery power comes in and gets upgraded to a certain level so that all this other stuff works. There are so many people out there that love doing the 3D printing and making it their own and doing all that stuff. I thought this was very, it's a concept where you can use your phone, you can use your whatever, but it's a cool looking gizmo.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Why don't we hit into the other thing? Was it Sarah that you jumped in here? I'll let you take over on that one. Sarah,
I can't remember. What have I put in?
You don't remember?
You're kidding? You just the thesis that you put in the show?
Small semester of stuff on the latest addition to the dashboard and profile makes this.
Look at that with
that was
pictures.
all from the Geocaching blogs. I thought you would have the official stuff. They're claiming they've done things this year.
No, they've got all sorts of stuff in here. I was hoping you would know what that was.
Look, I didn't have time to read to work through it.
Move on then.
All right.
Move on.
Moving on.
All right.
We'll have stuff in the show notes for that, but it's just all the changes that they talked over the past. It looks like from May on, the different things that they've had as far as adding on the public profile and the dashboard, and filter recent logs. Let's see, personalized events calendar. Yep, they got all sorts. So September was the cache owner logs.
They're making changes, man. Give them credit where credit's due.
Yeah, they're doing stuff. It's better than nothing.
I don't like everything, but 90% of the stuff they're doing, I'm digging.
Yeah, November the owner maintenance tool was added,
which some people hate, and some
You're an
people...
owner maintenance tool.
Basically, it's if one or more of cache owners' geocaches have a problem, geocache owners see a widget at the top of their dashboard.
Yeah, we've argued about this already. We were arguing a couple weeks ago about it.
Yep. So tons of stuff. We'll have
anybody with a C hide is gonna get 2 DNFs, and they're dropping you need maintenance on check your cache.
Yeah.
The good owners it annoys. The bad owners either don't or absentee owners don't see it or ignore it.
Right.
I mean, is there any sort of block on when they can place caches and when they can't?
Yeah, I mean, they already do it. When you place a cache, they already say, "Hey, do you know this?"
Yeah. By the way, you've got 25 caches under maintenance. You might want to clean that up before you put another one out.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. But anyways, it's a complete rundown over the year of all the different changes that they've put out, which I think is awesome. Like Scott said, they're trying and they're doing stuff that's going on.
Kudos.
Yep. The one thing, I don't have it in the show notes, but I figured I'd bring it up anyways. Because it's such good quality and has just... Have you seen the AR stickers for the Pixel 2?
No, I saw it all over your Facebook. I saw that.
Yeah, I saw your videos.
Oh my God. I mean, they've got different things. And if you don't know this, Pixel, Google has put out for their Pixel phones. If you've got the Pixel 1, it's coming up with an update. If you've Pixel 2, should already be in your phone. And basically you have a series of maybe 8 different collections. And what you do is you bring your phone up, you turn on the AR stickers, and you basically scan with your phone where you're going to be putting these items. And the kicker with this is they look damn good. I mean, very, very good. They've got a whole Star Wars collection. They've got a thing about Stranger Things. They've got one on birthdays. They got one on food. And they do different things, and they interact with each other. And the kicker is you can make these little mini movies now with these items. And when you place them, you scan out, you're looking through your phone, you place them, you can literally walk completely around them as a 3D item. And be able to see them from different angles that way. And it keeps the size and it keeps the location of... I had 15, 8, 10, whatever stormtroopers there. And you in a row, and you could walk by them and then have BB-8 and some of the other ones out in front of it and go with this. The point that I'm getting to this is AR has taken a huge step. Now, Pokemon Go just announced today that they've got what they're calling AR Plus. Now
I saw that.
It's only for the Apple phones, which is pissing me off. But I understand at least the technology is there. Because I found it
keeps the fanboys happy.
Is it for the 10? Because I've got that too.
Here we go. Yeah. Thanks, Scott.
Some people have paid too much.
But anyways, the point is the AR Plus with this, they're using their functionality for AR now. So when you look before with Pokemon, everybody turned AR off because they got bored with it.
No, I turned it off because it inhaled your battery.
That too. Now, basically what happens is you can take and look through your phone, and where whatever Pokemon critter that's out there is true size. So if you've got a Snorlax that's 10 feet tall, it looks like it's 10 feet tall.
Yeah. And, I just saw an article about this.
Does it have appropriate shadow? Like your guys' AR had appropriate shadow. That's the one thing I was noticing is like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, supposedly, I just read an article about this, Andy.
Yeah.
And supposedly also you could if you're behind them, you'll be behind them, and you could literally sneak up on them.
Yeah,
and I think you get more points if you get them when they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Or I guess I saw an article like Apple's trying to bring people back to Pokemon Go. Right. I'm like, that was like so 2016.
Yeah, but how many phones did they plan on selling just because of Pokemon? I mean, they're not.
I have like one friend who still plays. That game. And he's pissed at me because I don't play. I'm like, dude, I haven't played in like a year. Like, it's over. Let it go.
I guess the whole point that I'm trying to make is back when we were talking before about geocaching and AR, guys, this is going by you. I'm just saying. Holy cow.
I'm waiting for a puzzle, the first AR puzzle. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like one of the things that they have, if you're not into Stranger Things, there's a monster that's in it. And they have it with the AR stickers with Google Pixel 2. And the kicker is I want to go out and actually make a little mini video of a geocache out there having this thing guarded, because it's like, hello, how cool would this be? So, and the size, you can have, I didn't put it out on Facebook, you can have full size AT-ATs. That's how big these things can get. Full size. I mean, you literally, you can put an X-Wing or a TIE fighter up above and look underneath or go behind it and see the engines going off as it's shooting out in front of you.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Come on, geocaching. Don't let this pass you by.
Do you hear this, Groundspeak or geocaching.com?
Yeah.
No, this is what the next thing needs to be.
Yes.
It sounds like they could build that into where it goes. The damn thing would still crash all the time.
Revolutionize everything. It still can do the same old stuff with the geocaches, but get on board with some of this stuff because it's gonna roll you over. I
would hope that they are. I would hope to think that they are. Like, starting.
Well, it's not like we haven't been, saying this for how many years now. So, and now it's out. It's too late. It's out. Anyways, that's my soapbox thing for today. I saw that stuff and going, they have got to get on this bandwagon.
Some people are going, oh, I can't do that because it doesn't. My GPS won't download it.
Yeah, but the stuff's so quick now. It's like boom, it's there, and the kicker is it's GPS located. You could put those 3D objects anywhere and throw in a GPS coordinate for it, and you could see your dragon in front of it from 50 feet back. I mean, that kind of thing. So I'm just saying it's
so how many geocachers do you know do not have a smartphone? None. Okay.
I would take bets on a couple of them not having smartphones, but I wouldn't like to say who. A few of the people who've been around for for 10, 15 years probably might not still have a smartphone.
Okay, how about a percentage out of all geocachers?
99% have a smartphone.
Yeah.
I can't say, and I'd say probably 98% use it as their primary caching.
Yes. How that's changed over the years.
Yeah. I've got a lot of friends that were, no, I'll never use a smartphone, that back in 2010 and now are nothing but smartphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I remember us chastising people back then going, let me get this straight. You want to take your $600 phone out into the woods? Really?
Oh, how times have changed.
How times have changed.
Andy, most of the time you don't go in the woods anymore.
Yeah, most people, it's kind of like Ingress. If you can't do it from your car,
what's the point?
Yeah. It's like my phone might be more waterproof than my GPSR. Nowadays, yeah.
They've got the rugged stuff out there.
Yep.
All right, good stuff. Yeah. Sarah, you had a couple of things. Unless you had a point.
Oh, yeah. sort of food and snack favorite things to take while you're out caching was one of the suggestions.
I have seen people. You have the people who are health nuts, is the kind way that I put it, where they take their vegetables and their drink mixes and try to eat healthy when it goes. I don't know if it's just because of me, but when I go with a bunch of people, we're not hitting the healthy spots when we're out geocaching.
No, that's the time when you don't eat healthy. Usually.
Exactly.
I'll take some fruit with me, and that's about as healthy as it gets.
I'll take
some trail mix.
Trail
scrubbing, as we call it. That's got nuts in. That's got to be, and seeds. That's got to be healthy.
Yes. So but all the other ones. I mean, Scott makes a good point all the time. Wherever he's at, he hits a local place to
local.
To and I'll tell you what, you find some of the best hole-in-the-wall places. It's like, really? Yeah, go here.
Yep. 2 rules: always eat local and always eat what's in the title.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
how it works, man.
It does. So yeah, favorite foods over the years has changed a lot. I used to do back when I had my blog way long time ago, and even early on in the podcasting years, we would come out with a poll every once in a while just to see what people eat, and it is downgraded a lot since then. It just is.
Well, the theory being, if you burn off all those calories, you got to put them back.
Right.
Well, my thing is, it also depends where you're going. If you're going to be, say, like we did a couple of weeks ago, going over to a different city and hitting as many caches around there as you can, we knew we were never going to be more than 5 minutes, so 5-10 minutes away from somewhere we could get something to eat. But as if we are heading out into the back blocks, into the Wairarapa or somewhere, you take you take a lunch with you, because you know you're gonna, when you're hungry, you're gonna be 20 minutes drive from anywhere that'll sell anything as a minimum.
Yep.
Yeah, my daughter used to get a kick out of making just picnic lunches for us, where we'd go off and go that route. Nowadays, I'm with Amy, and it's like, okay, where's the nearest restaurant?
No, I'm sort of, if we're heading out into the middle of nowhere, what I tend to do is buy a pack of bread buns, a packet of sliced salami, and a packet of pre-sliced cheese, so that
you're letting
there's something you can put together and get yourself a sandwich pretty quick.
Okay, because Scott let that one go by.
I let it go. I think I know what she's talking about. Bread buns. What are bread buns?
God, you lot are ignorant.
Is it just a bun? Just a bun?
A bun.
That's right.
A thing containing bread.
Like a hamburger bun.
You may reckon
like a hamburger bun.
Yeah.
Okay.
But better quality.
Better quality
than
those
things are basically white foam bread. No, that's god awful.
Okay, it depends on your burger joint.
Yeah. You obviously don't know the quality pretzel buns that we have here.
Oh, pretzel buns. Oh, so good.
Not normally on burgers around us. That's the sort of one point of tension I've got with my main caching buddy at the moment, which is great fun to go out looking for. But we have, when it comes to sort of eating properly rather than what's in the car that we need to eat now, I'm trying to convince her that there are alternatives to McDonald's.
No, you have to end the day on a Frosty. That's the way.
What?
The day on a Frosty. No. Yes.
I'm not a fan of McDreadfuls.
No, Wendy's Frosties.
Scott does not. I think it's against Scott's religion to eat at McDonald's for some reason. But
I can't eat McDonald's.
So McDonald's to me is emergency food while on an extremely long road trip.
That's not even oh my god, no! Because 10 minutes later, it's coming out. I can't that's helping nobody's situation.
No, that's Taco Bell.
Oh no, Taco Bell! I'm done for the day. I am in the house for the rest of the day when I eat Taco Bell.
I'm going to bring up White Castles then. So the gift that keeps. Yeah. And there you got our rundown of some of our more popular stops for
kebabs are good. Sorry, Turkish places. But I must admit, I do like a falafel kebab.
A falafel kebab.
You know what?
In your day? Really?
List when we go geocaching is where's the nearest falafel place?
That's come out of my mouth many a times. But do they have falafels there?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So as I say, I'm not a McDreadfuls fan, but my partner in crime quite frequently is. So we have to compromise occasionally.
I don't know if we've actually
hit this McDonald's before,
Sarah. What do you have cows in New Zealand? I mean, you do.
With all due respect, maybe McDonald's is better in New Zealand than it is in the States.
Sheep burgers.
No. Yeah, we have plenty of cows. Come on, dairy's a huge export earner for us.
Are they now?
It's imported cows.
Unlike you, our cows are grass fed. They're not cooped up in barns all day and night.
We shoot them up with crap.
That's right. We get all sorts of
antibiotic steroids,
carcinogens going into these puppies.
Yes.
And leave your chlorine washed chicken out of it.
Super milk.
So that tells you how things are here. So what is the major? You don't have any hamburger plates is there? What kind of stuff do you have is the main?
Falafel.
McDreadfuls the main of the chain, but there is Burger King. There's a couple of others around.
So do you have Wendy's? Do you have a Wendy's?
So do you have any high-end burger chains?
The what?
Yeah.
Any higher end burger chains like?
Well, actually, one of the things they do.
Like
who?
Five Guys.
We have here gourmet hamburger places that are on a higher scale. And
one of the things they do every year, sort of Augustish, is there's something called Wellington on a Plate, which is a sort of foodie festival. And a lot of the restaurants around the place do a signature dish burger for that fortnight. So you can sort of eat about 5 different burgers a day and only just get around the menu.
That's normal here.
That's lunch for Andy.
Yeah. And so I'm curious, Sarah, with that. So you got your burgers. What's the main side dish that's in New Zealand for something like that?
Chips or fries, as you call them.
Oh,
All right, so it's not too far off from the beaten path.
Do you guys have the fish and chips there? The yummy fish and chips?
Oh, hell yes.
Me and Mark had the biggest argument about
it.
Did you really?
Fish and chips. Who the hell would eat fish with French fries? That just grilled fried fish with French fries sounds disgusting.
You never heard?
It isn't. It's a Brit thing. The one thing they can't get here, unless you go to a supermarket and buy it beforehand, is mushy peas. That's a Northern English thing.
Yeah, Mark sent me a thing with mushy peas. He sent me it.
Is it actually?
It's literally mushy peas.
Yeah.
We call that food.
It's like mushy peas are after you've chewed the peas.
No, it isn't.
That's what you give babies. It's called baby food, is what that's called.
It's almost a sauce.
I used to give Toby mushy peas when he was a baby.
Yes.
Mushy peas.
Oh.
Here, hold on. Let me see if I can get this to you guys here. Let's see if you guys can see this here. Mark sent me this the other day. Can you read that at all?
Let's see.
How much? Bloody hell.
Is that a lot?
I don't know. Like, there's a picture of it. Look how gross it looks.
Yeah. The mushy peas are a thing of beauty. They're curry sauce is god-awful foul, but mushy peas are well worth having.
$4.95 for small fish, chips, and mushy peas.
It's about what, $8? $8-9?
Chicago rather than the US, something like that. Yeah.
Fish is about $3-4 here. Yeah, so it's like $7-8 Kiwi. So
it's $30 American.
No, I think Kiwi dollar buys about 70 cents US at the moment.
It's $6.68.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you, Google.
And don't forget, that's the price you pay. Brits and Kiwis don't tip.
That's right. And we also got an argument about.
No, you're cheap.
Me and Mark had an argument about
pay
that.
our staff.
Like they don't tip. Like how do you?
No, we don't.
So do you guys come to America and just the cheapest bastards ever because none of you tip, or do you learn to tip?
No, we're all too terrified and sort of how the can anybody tell us how much we're going on to this? We have no idea.
What are the there's a whole thing on tipping with that, but it's like 3/4 of the people that work in the United States are wait staff, so they would starve.
Right, tip. Yeah.
Yeah, but our guys.
Well, we could pay them a decent wage. I mean, we don't do that.
Let's start that.
Yeah.
Well, now they get a big ass standard deduction.
Don't get it. Don't pull that card. Don't.
Thank you, President Trump.
I'll get there. So, Sarah, I enjoy finding out the cultural stuff, the differences between them, and I can guarantee that the majority of the restaurants that we have in the United States does not have mushy peas.
I can guarantee that it's an English thing.
No.
It's more like
or fish and chips for that matter. Fish and French fries. I don't think too many have that as well as a.
Have you?
You're missing a thing of beauty.
Arthur Treat?
I don't think I am.
If you want a Northern English cultural icon, there's something called a chip butty, which is you get 2 slices of buttered bread, hence the butty bit, and instead of the sandwich filling is chips.
So you
basically sandwich filling is French fries.
Yeah. Now that is a cultural
butter,
icon.
bread, and French fries. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, so, for your carbo load.
Yeah, I was going to say 9/10 of the public in the United States now that are health nuts would just implode.
I mean, you got butter, bread, and French fries. Do you have any idea?
Margarine, bread, and French fries.
Margarine, okay, because that's better.
No, because that's cheaper.
Oh,
that's some serious carb overload right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then again, if they put some base sauce on the French fries, then
put some mayo on there too. Get some mayo on there.
Mayo is Belgian and European.
Finish that heart off.
All the Brexit fans coming out in sort of hives at the thought of mayonnaise on chips. Actually, I quite like it. The strange Kiwi thing I can't get my head around is tomato sauce on chips.
Ketchup, you mean?
Ketchup?
Yeah.
Ketchup on French fries?
That's the way it's supposed to be.
That's
the way it's supposed to be.
No, the weirdest thing I've ever heard of with French fries is people getting McDonald's or BK French fries. There's almost like very thin ones, and dipping them in ice cream and eating them.
Oh no, that's a Chick-fil-A thing.
In your Frosty. You dip it in your Frosty at
you get Chick-fil-A waffle fries and you dip them in ice cream. It is awesome.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, like I said, we can do a whole show on food. So good stuff. We'll wrap it up there because now I'm hungry. All right.
We'll end up in the fight.
Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, we want to thank Chad and Sarah and Scott for all the things that they do. We want to thank you, fine folks, for stepping on by. And like I said, now I really want a burger with fries. I
want a Frosty now.
All right. So, folks, have a good one. Have a great one. And we will see you next week on the Geocaching Podcast.
Have a great Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you for subscribing to the Geocaching Podcast. Please be sure to join us each and every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of the Geocaching Podcast, right here on the Geocaching Podcast website at www.geocachingpodcast.com/live. The video version of our show is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on our home website, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and many of your favorite podcatchers. We love hearing from our viewers and listeners, so please visit us through our social media sites or contact us via our voicemail line at 630-31-VOICE. The Geocaching Podcast is a Headhardhat production and is produced by Andy Smith, Scott Burks, Chad Courtney, and Sarah T.S. This show is copyright 2017 by Andrew T. Smith. All rights reserved. All right, folks. Well, thanks for stopping on by. We greatly do appreciate it. Have a good holiday. Be safe out there. We want to see you next week, and just be safe. Have a good one. Have a safe one, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye, folks.